What's up, Moto Buddies? This is Mike from Baja Taco Tours and Taco Motoco, and we're in Ensenada. I'm here with Darren, and this is his bike, his entrance to the running of the Baja 1000. And so we're going to do a quick little overview of this machine here. The first thing I want to point out is he's still running a plate. This is a bike, I want you to comprehend this. This is a dual sport machine, a KTM 500 EXC-F with a plate and a key, still intact, and he is going to solo, he's going to Ironman the Baja 1000 on this very bike. This is impressive and epic on every level. So, you know, he's got the little sick, no, that's the XCW tail fin, the XCW? Oh, that's a sick ass. Okay, so sick ass, this is a, what year is this? 18. Pro Mobility end cap. He's got the Desert Maxxis IT tire on there, and then a Mojo shark fin. Suspension has been tuned a little bit. Highland Cycles did that for him, little plug for those guys. And then he's upsprung it for the weight. He's got that carbon up armor guard. Inside of that clutch is all the stock plates, hammerhead, shift lever. Notice he's taken the thermostat off, and he's got the Samco hose kit running there. Attributes, bigger tank. That's like the 4.1 size on the tank. This is going to be a muddy race. It's been raining down here in Mexico, and so he's got the screen door material, twin air over that. And then when they come into the pits, somebody's job will be to wipe the mud away from that and keep that clean. He's running Moose, so here's something that you will find a little interesting. Now, typically if you're running Moose, you don't have a valve stem, but he's put the one in there that's sort of like this repair valve stem. And so if you install your Moose and your Moose isn't quite filling out your tire and setting the bead, you can put air on there and then pop that out. If you didn't have that, the trick would be you just put a rubber nozzle on the end of your air hose and you shove it in there and shoot that to inflate out the tire chamber and seat it. But that's a pretty slick way to do it, and that'll confuse the hell out of the guys in the pit stops if they don't know that he's running Moose, and they'll try to check pressure and there's nothing in there. He's got his spokes. Now this is a little Baja requirement as part of the tech inspection, but not a bad idea just on any old bike to zip tie your spokes together. So if you break one, the idea there is it will remain in its place. It's going to be less likely to want to jump out and wrap itself around your hub or get into your caliper. He's got the nice little attributes fork protectors on there. These are more or less like rock deflectors. They look good too. So up here on the cockpit, Cycra bar guards. He's got the oversized shields on there. Now, oh, these are the great. So these are the pillow top grips. These are the Pro Taper pillow top, nice grips. So Stella, this is part of the safety setup for any of the machines competing. He's got telemetry in here that's sending data back and forth to race control, and these are the data, markers that they're going to give him if he needed to send an SOS, if he was broken down. He can send OK status reports. Anybody who's moving up onto him at a high rate of speed, he'll get this signal right here that'll flash on the display, and that'll let him know that somebody's moving aggressively quickly behind him, and then he can be aware of that. That's a really cool bracket here that his mechanic has put together, and you can see that this is more or less like the Cycra clamps for a standard bar, and then he's just got this little cool simple plate that's been bent up, and now he's got his Voyager Pro on there and the Stella all really clean underneath his flex bars, because it can be a challenge when you're running flex bars. You don't have real estate to do any type of special mounting, and so the Voyager Pro and then the Stella all mount again to this custom cool bracket right here. His key, that's so classic, I love that. Garrett's kind of a taller guy, so you notice he's got these stack blocks in here to get a little rise out of those bars. Flex bars tend to be a bit higher, and so this is the exact setup he needs for his height. Moto minded on the bracket for the headlight, XL80 Pro on the headlight. That's the Baja Designs. He's got the yellow on there for dust. He'll cut through the dust better. That's his race tracking right there for the checkpoints. And then down here, he's got the Enduro Engineering disc guard on the bottom, and TM Design Works on that skid plate. His forks have been pretty well left intact stock. He's changed the oil out. and then he's played around with the clickers in his testing, but the internals are intact and stock. And then up here on the cockpit, he's got, this is his fan. And then over here, the stock, that's classic, I love that, stock multifunction switch. And the BRP stabilizer here, well, that's a Scott's with the BRP mount. Is that a BRP or the Scott's? Scott's mount, okay. And then we talked to Jimmy over at BRP to make sure that we set this right, and he had us change the adjustments a little bit for this race, for the conditions. And so now he's got the exact, dialed in setup here for the race. So inside his crankcase, he's running Motorex engine oil, same the factory recommends. And he's going to run that whole race on the one oil change for his 1,000-mile trail ride. Seat concepts on the seat. As far as fueling goes, he's removed his reeds in here, and he's got that aftermarket end cap, so he needed more fuel, and so he's fueling that with the JD tuner. And then one of the things that he was very conscious of is leaving this connector. This is the connector that connects into the stock harness. So here's the stock harness coming from the bike. If this was not here, that end would go into the injector, but because it's here, it first goes into the JD, and you can see how it comes up into this plug, and then this takes it back up to the JD, wherever that's located. So if something were to happen where his bike had some sort of drivability or engine running issues, he could very quickly and easily access this connector, remove that, so he would put this end directly into the injector, bypass all this, and then he would know he had an ECU problem or some other issue or a JD. He could eliminate that really quick. So in a mission critical kind of bike setup situation, leaving that accessible like that's a pretty good idea. Got the Recluse master cylinder, or the slave cylinder here for ultimate reliability, Hammerhead Shifter, and then he's got this really nice sort of, it's a cutting board nylon CNC ground out case saver chain guard there, pretty slick. And the gearing is 1445? 1445 stock. And the idea behind that is just because he's got a lot of wide open terrain he's got to cover, so higher speed. He's probably got the Polysport swing arm guards there, TM design on the chain guide in the back. Garrett, what do you have for air filter? Is it the Twin Air? Yep. And then do you have a PC Racing gasket cover? I mean, we have the gasket. The gasket seal,
yeah.
And then the
PC Racing seal, and then Twin Air filter cover.
Okay, so the Twin Air filter, is it dry or oiled?
Oiled.
It's oiled, okay. So stock air filter with the PC Racing gasket that goes over the seal of the airbox, and then the Twin Air filter cover, so it's kind of like a pre-filter, and they've oiled it. This back here is one of the antennas for the Stella. And then how classic is that? He's still got his giant loop little guard on here for when he runs bags. So awesome. I mean, I don't even know how to explain this bike right here, and this effort is insane. This guy's insane. Garrett is going to run Ironman, this bike, dual sport bike with a key and a license plate in the Baja 1000. Garrett, your chances are very good. How do you feel?
Up and down the last few days, confidence doing this, and then this, and this. The weather, with all the rain, the washouts, kind of got me down. Not a real fan of riding in the rain. But if I can just pace myself and not make any mistakes, we should get to the end, hopefully on two wheels.
I'd say your chances are very, very good. Great machine, great rider. This effort has a super high likelihood of succeeding. And we'll follow you and look for you on the podium, my man.
Appreciate it, Mike. All the help and support you've given me along the way.
Happy to do it, brother. All right, guys, this is evidence of what I always say. Go out and get some adventure.